Todd Jackson and Eric Masher.
What is going on, everybody? How are we doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? My name is Eric Masher. This is Todd Jackson. We are the duo behind Q2C VR Gamer. We have been building communities for a long, long time. Today, we're going to talk to you a little bit about how we built those communities, the problems that we found, some of the hurdles that we had to overcome, and then we're going to talk a little bit about us and some of the numbers that we've done. You can see up on the board. We have over 19 million views in Facebook, 260,000 views over YouTube, over 100 live podcasts that we started as just live chats in Facebook. But let's run a small, quick video that tells you a little bit about us.
Uh-oh.
That's the old deck.
This is not the right presentation. This is not the right presentation. There's one on your desktop.
It's the last one of the day this happens.
That's right.
They must be ready for happy hour.
Yeah, like everybody is.
So how about that Quest 3 announcement? Everybody excited?
Woo! Too many shooters.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Photo. Take a photo.
Yeah, I should.
Build this spaghetti right here.
We got this.
I'm taking it backward.
You want to help him with the slides?
It's never a bad opportunity for a selfie.
There we go.
That looks so much better. I do have to say, Todd made that first slide deck. It was not good. So.
Under the bus in the first 30 seconds.
There we go. All right, yeah, let's a little bit about us. What is going on, everybody? How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening? The man who has a maple leaf tattooed to one of his ass cheeks, Todd Jackson. What is going on, Todd? How are you doing, man?
Hi diddly ho diddly. He's Eric, and I'm Todd. We're the dynamic duo of Q2C VR Gamer. We've been making waves around the world of virtual reality gaming. Our mission is to provide content that is both entertaining and educational, and to drive the adoption of VR technology. But how do we do it? Our creative and innovative strategies have been the key to our success. Through our gaming videos, we have been able to showcase the potential of virtual reality, giving viewers an exciting glimpse into the world of VR gaming. We've also worked to create content that is both educational and entertaining, allowing users to learn from the technology while also enjoying the gaming experience. In addition to our gaming content, Eric and I have also used our influence to advocate for VR technology and drive adoption. We've spoken at conferences and events to discuss the potential of virtual reality and to educate people about its capabilities, and we've also used the platform to highlight the work of other VR developers and content creators, helping to showcase the projects and create a community of support. Eric and I are truly a force to be reckoned with in the VR gaming world. With our creative and innovative strategies, we have been able to not only entertain and educate viewers, but also advocate and drive adoption. Next time you're looking for an inspiring and thought-provoking VR podcast, be sure to check out Q2C VR Gamer. You won't be disappointed.
A force to be reckoned with, really.
A force to be
A
reckoned
force.
with. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that force. So
We're going to do, let's talk about the topics we're going to discuss today first. We're going to go over a couple things just in point form. Why is community in VR so important? It's a very small, growing community. It's not like trying to build a community around a flat game or a flat community. It's a lot more tricky when it comes to virtual reality. We're going to talk about belonging, support, and collaboration, different things that you can do to make your community feel like they belong together. And ways of building that community that are unique to VR. There's a whole bunch of ways that only can happen in VR, which to me is a benefit, and we'll dive into those in a second. We're also going to talk a little bit about engagement and longevity, how to keep your community from shrinking. We just want the communities to grow, not shrink. How important it is and to make a safe and supportive environment. Keeping everybody safe in your community is always a bonus. And staying connected, creating friends and not followers is one of our big points.
So why is building community in VR so important, and what are the hurdles that you have to kind of like get through to kind of conquer some of these things? And Todd and I early on, we saw that, because we've been building communities for a long time. So Todd has been building communities around Call of Duty flat gaming for a long, long time. I had built communities around flat gaming as well. And there was just, it's much easier because you have a much broader audience. We found quickly that when we started building a VR community, that audience was so much smaller. And then we had some hurdles with that audience as well. With mass adoption, with the standalone headset, we found we had a huge range in ages of people now. So it wasn't just a younger audience. We had younger audience who was tech savvy up to an older audience that was not tech savvy in any way. So you have a wide range of people that you have to have work together in the community to where you're having people that have a lot of easy questions to be answered, but you have a lot of tech savvy people that don't want to hear them. So it's a lot of work going back and forth with that. We wanted to focus early on bridging the gap between developers and gamers. So it was important for us to really bring a lot of the developers that we could into the communities to communicate directly with the gamers or the people that were doing their apps and things like that. We thought it was important early on to make sure that we had discussions and answer groups where people could get in, ask a lot of questions about different things, especially to the developers. So the gamer or the customer got an idea of what went into making the game. It makes it a little bit more personal for them, and that helped grow the community as well. New technology. New technology is extremely important to have to build a community around. Whenever you have new technology like virtual reality or augmented reality, there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. And if you don't have a safe place for those people to go to ask those questions, you kind of will put people in a spot where they don't want to be. Let's go on to the next one, Todd. All right, multiplayer game sessions, extremely important. We found early on that bringing a lot of people in to do multiplayer game sessions really built community and really got people involved. Again, when you have a smaller audience and market that you're going to, it's important that you bring as many people in as possible to help build a sense of belonging, a sense of community by playing some of those multiplayer games together, getting in and doing something special with each other, especially when you can do it in something like virtual reality, which has a much more deeper in meaning.
And that's what we're going to talk about now, belonging, support, and collaboration. Some of the things that we've done in our different communities are things like events, game nights. We've done game nights with walkabouts, synth riders, after the fall, a list of other things that we'll go over in a sec. Meet and greets. These are things that can happen outside of VR or inside of VR. Through our Patreon meetings, we meet with all of our Patreons once a week, and we talk about all the latest tech news, what our podcast is going to talk about that week. Conventions, we try to go to every single convention there is. Eric travels the world going to every one of these conventions, and we always make sure that the community knows where we're going and more than welcome to come and hang out with us when they get there. And inside VR, social platforms are amazing, Neos and VR Chat being our favorites. From outside the VR world, online forums make a huge difference. We started our group with Facebook, and it grew to 200,000 members. And I don't know if we'd really be here without it. Like the way that the group can get together and have meaningful conversations, talk to developers is just amazing inside of Facebook. In the last year and a half or so, we've also grown into Discord, which has been a huge benefit, especially when you're trying to get developers and the players to talk together.
So ways that are unique to VR to build community, as I was saying just a while ago, because of the deep immersion in VR, you can bring people in a social setting together that are across the world. So there are many different ways. We talked about social applications like VR Chat, Zenith being a game that you can actually get in with a large group of people and play, but Horizon, Walkabout Mini Golf, doing these huge events can really bring a lot of people together, and you can really get with your community with these things and really have deeper conversations actually in a setting that's not just typing on a screen, but you're in virtual reality to do them. We try and do as many meetups as we can. Something we started early on, which mainly grew into our podcast, was live chats. We started going into the group and answering questions, doing live video chats. We had a lot of people come in asking questions. Again, when you have new technology, there's a lot of things that need to be answered. So when you start to engage with your audience or your group members, you'll see that you'll start to bring more and more people in because they'll tell somebody. We didn't want to be a normal Facebook early on, so we wanted people to go and say, come join this group. It's something special. It's something different. It's not the normal Facebook group where it's just people chatting, about what they did for their day. This, you can have meaningful conversations, and a lot of that goes into the multiplayer meetups that we can do.
So engagement and longevity. Keeping members informed about new developments and updates in the world of VR. So there's lots of ways to do that. We do that through our podcast. We podcast every Thursday night. We do special events Saturday mornings. Eric is on 5 podcasts, I think, on a weekly basis. We do things with the community too, so we'll do podcasts where the community members can actually come right onto YouTube and chat with us and ask their questions. Our YouTube videos, it's not just all about, for our channel anyway, it's not all about just playing video games. We want to engage with the community by giving them more educational stuff. So we talk about hardware a lot. We do reviews on different things, reviews on games, applications, and of course accessories, hardware, every headset that's out there. Posts and restreams. So posting in Discord has been a huge benefit to us, especially with conversations with developers. Having that avenue with different time zones is what we found the most. Is we can have those simple conversations inside a Discord server, whether they be private or open to the rest of the public. And restreams have been a good tool for us to engage with the community because we can, every time we live stream, whether it's on a Thursday night or we do a gaming stream, Restream lets us stream to Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all at the same time. So we can use one platform, we have one interface, every show looks exactly the same, but it goes everywhere. And for longevity, I would say, everyone loves free stuff. We always talk with developers, manufacturers to try and get game codes, accessories. There's been so many manufacturers that have been just amazing with giving us head straps and batteries and controllers. That it's an easy way to draw in more community members and help them stay engaged because they're always entering contests and giveaways and telling their friends, and it just grows from there.
Something we found quickly early on too was doing these things like this, giving back to the community in some way, and even a small way, it actually starts to engage the community into wanting to do the same exact thing. So we quickly found that we did small things here or there to give back to the community started gifting back to itself in that point. So they actually started donating things to give to other people, and that spiraled into, we had huge giveaways and people donating, headsets and games, and it's just amazing when you see small little things happen for a community, then everybody gets involved, and again, that sense of belonging, that sense of we want to be part of something special, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
So the engagement and the longevity of any kind of social platform that you have, the keys to it are going to be safe and supported environment. It's super important. Again, especially when you have a large range of people who may be asking, who want to have a safe place to ask questions where they might be ridiculed somewhere else. So it's super important. You have to have that safe space for people to express their opinions, their ideas without fear of any repercussions. That being said, you have to watch those opinions and how they're put out there. It's super hard to moderate in a Discord. We found really early on that there was no possible way that we could do it without a bigger team. We have one of the best teams around of 8 people that help us with all of our communities. When the moderators, it's a team, make sure they're a team of people you trust. Make sure that you kind of vet them through. Don't just take every first person that says they want to be a moderator. Make sure they're people that are already engaged in the group. Make sure they understand. Make sure you have a code of conduct in place for the group so they have somewhere to go back to help them make their decisions on how they have to handle situations. Staying professional for your moderators is extremely important. You cannot engage with infighting in the group as a moderator or as an admin or founder of the group. You have to keep that out of it. If people see that the moderators are part of the instigation, they quickly lose faith in the group. Quick responses to issues and problems. You have to make sure that you're on top of these things. We found out early on that while we were sleeping, there was nobody moderating the group. We had to find different time zones for people to come in and help us, and that's something you have to think about as well. We know that the internet can be extremely toxic. You have many places for people to go and like really go in and ruin your community. So it's important to take care of things fast, quickly, and again have that code of conduct so people can go back to.
Staying connected. So we use Discord for a bunch of things, like I said, developer conversations with end users, or maybe with us if we're going to do some sort of special for them or something. But providing a place for them to also answer tech support questions, or maybe have a channel dedicated to the games that they're working on, has also been very, very helpful for them. So they can help grow the community in their own way by adding, game nights for their own game or whatever it is they want to do. A big thing that I've said for a long time is trying to create friends and not followers. Just having a community of numbers, to me, means nothing. A community of interacting people who engage with each other and come out and support each other is what it's all about. Quality is more important than quantity. Focus on the people that bring out the best in you.
So in the end, celebrating virtual reality, augmented reality, it does foster growth and engagement. These are all key steps that we've shown you tonight in successfully building an engaging community. If you follow these steps, you have a good chance of building community. If you kind of like go through and you're passionate about what you're doing, it's much easier to do. Thank you all for your time. We appreciate it. This is our first ever talk, so I hope we did a little bit okay. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
All right, I got the mic right here. Any questions for our illustrious panelists?
Well, my question is, what made you start this channel? Was it like just passionate project, and are you able to sustain yourself with doing this, or you have different jobs?
That's a really, really good question. So I quickly found virtual reality. I was in a point in my life where I had kind of given up on any gaming at all. I had been a big gamer my entire life. I found virtual reality. It was something special to me. I had one of those moments that a lot of us have probably had. We put the headset on, and then it changes things. To the point where I wanted to make sure I could share that with people. And I found that there was a lot of people that just didn't know how to do anything with virtual reality. They had no idea what headsets to buy or what games to buy or how to run them and what's PC VR all about. How do we do that? And with a huge amount of people that were just starting to come in with standalone VR with the Quest, I said this is a time to do something different. But again, I didn't want to do a normal Facebook group. There were already Quest Facebook groups out there. There were already VR Facebook groups out there, and they just didn't have any traction. They were all very small. I wanted to do something different right from the get-go. And then Todd and I both had, like I said, we both were building communities in flat gaming for a long time. And this was just something we were both super passionate about, and that's what helps build it. Like doing these things that we did, especially around, there is no payoff. There is nothing there. It's basically you doing it because you love it, but that will help you build the community. That will keep you up at night, making sure the group is safe.
It is something that we started off doing as a hobby. When you start, you're small. So we did this in our spare time. We didn't sleep. It was do as much as we can to build a community as best as we can. As we grew and got better, we still have jobs, but our jobs are now more virtual reality related. So it's definitely opened a whole bunch of doors and changed our lives immensely.
But yeah, passion helps, for sure.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for a great talk.
Thank you.
From a developer's perspective, if they're starting out a new project and they would like to build a community around it, could you recommend another platform in addition to Discord?
Yeah, it's difficult. It depends on the game, really. We found that early on, like certain platforms tend to lend to different types of games. So, some games work very well Discord. If it's a game that lends to maybe a little bit of an older audience, Facebook might be a better spot for that. I would say that every developer should have every platform hit, because there will be people out there that want to go follow you in those different channels. There may be some people that don't want to do YouTube, or don't want to do TikTok, or don't want to do Discord, or never heard of Discord, especially when you have a bit of an older audience. So that's where you have, I definitely think Facebook can be really, really good. Again, it was one of the biggest things that took off for us early on. We built everything off of the Facebook group. The Facebook group especially, I think in the first 6 months, over 100,000 people. And then we basically just tried to get more there. Like I said, we wanted to hit every platform. That's why we restream. Because we wanted to go to Discord, we wanted to go to YouTube, we wanted to go to Twitter. Twitter is another really good one. I don't think enough developers think about Twitter as a platform to really grow their communities with, because, and not even just communities, you can help with other creators who will follow you on Discord as well.
It's difficult to have meaningful conversations in some of the other platforms like TikTok, and Twitter's not too bad, but it's more of a one-on-one. And for end users or game players to find that meaningful conversation, especially on Twitter, it's a nightmare of searching, and you're right. The demographic is kind of where it's at, and Facebook is definitely kind of leaning towards more of the older crowd now, and TikTok is more of the younger crowd now, so you got to kind of balance it between all of them, I think.
Awesome question, thank you.
Great talk.
Thank you.
So you mentioned several times that you did something or you want to do something different on your Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people try to start a Facebook group, and they, like you said, they don't get any engagement, and it falls really flat. What did you do early on, you think, that really separated your group from other groups that allowed you to get to such big numbers?
Yeah, great question, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think we engaged with our community as we were building it more than anyone else. Doing these live chat things where we brought in anyone that wanted to talk to us on quite a regular basis, like multiple times per week at the beginning, was a huge way. Like most Facebook groups, you join the group, you see spammed video posts and advertising and people washing their car or whatever. Where we wanted it to be, developer interviews or game reviews. Giveaways were a huge bonus. Everyone draws into the free stuff, and when they come for the free stuff, they stay for all the other stuff. So don't be afraid to use free stuff as a way to grab more people. It works.
Yeah, and don't be afraid that when you first do these things, you get 2 or 3 people, because it's going to happen. You're going to start out with nobody, and then you kind of start to build, and you build. And early on, I said to Todd, I said, we're going to do this. If we get 2 people that want to do it, we'll continue to do it, because those 2 people are important. So if we can do it, start with 2, and then you get to 10, and then you get to 50, and then you get to 1,000, and then we get our podcast now will get in our Facebook group get up to 10 to 20,000 views in the Facebook group. That started as a small fireside chat.
Gents, we love you. You know that. Social media itself is a beast, right? It's really hard. That's hard to understand, hard to tame. You guys have done a great job across all these platforms. You mentioned that you restream, which I'm guessing means you push to one and then it pushes them out to the rest.
Yeah.
So which is the preferred kind of primary in that case?
YouTube gets us the most interaction, I would say. But when I say restream, it's actually a product called Restream that helps us do that. But I don't know if I would ever go back to just streaming to one place. When you have that accessibility, and it's a subscription service, like you have to pay for this, but I think it's totally worth it for the audience we get. Like sometimes on Facebook during a live show, we might get 2 people that show up on Facebook. But on Twitch, we'll get 20. On YouTube, we'll get 100 or whatever the numbers are. So I think you to meet that demographic, you got to go everywhere.
Yeah, and I even think Twitter. And in Twitter, we found that Twitter streaming into Twitter can be hugely effective. We'll get live 80 to 100 people that will just follow us, just watch us on one Twitter channel, and then Todd will get another 30 or 40 watching on his Twitter. So Twitter's effective. You could even stream to LinkedIn through Restream. Restream is a really good tool to use. It's not cheap, but it's really good. The only problem with that is you do have the tendency to fragment your audience. So if people are looking at where you're getting views and you're kind of everywhere, you don't have one spot that's particularly huge because they're kind of spread everywhere. But we had to do it for us early on because we wanted to build a YouTube channel around the platform, but we had to stream into Facebook where most of our audience was. We had almost 200,000 people there, so that was the biggest thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey y'all, have a question.
Oh, hi.
Over here. Hey. So I'm curious of how y'all select your topics to discuss with your friends, as I call them that. So part of me wrestles between, let's talk about anything and everything, if that's what y'all want to hear about. And then part of me wrestles with, no, like what do they genuinely want to know? Is there techniques that y'all use to learn what y'all audience is interested in?
You want to take that?
Yeah, I mean, being active in your platforms will help you. When we plan things out, we kind of try and look and see what the topics are that people are talking about or are interested in that point. So it's a lot of sifting through posts and sifting through messages and that. And then when we're trying to plan out what we're going to talk about, we do it with like a lot of our group. So we'll bring in some of our patrons who want to like spend time with us, and we'll go on air and we'll be in Discord, and they have a special channel, and we'll discuss it with them and what they think, and we get their ideas as well.
Yeah, we'll do like a 25 or 30 member sometime video chat, and everyone throws in their 2 bits, and then afterwards we'll vet it all and decide what it is we're going to talk about. But it's nice to hear their take on what it is they want to do. Heck, we recently just changed the time of our show, which I never thought would happen, because our patrons and some of the members of the community thought if your show is a little bit earlier in the day, more people are going to come and watch it, and we can take part more. So we did.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great question because you don't know sometimes whether a certain topic you should even tackle. There are a lot of things out there that people might want to be talking about in the group that maybe it's something you probably don't want to get into, but then you have to weigh whether you think that is something you should get into because maybe it's a controversial issue that somebody needs to know about something. So we go back and forth with it quite a bit to figure out topics. Thank you.
We got one more question right here, and that'll be it.
All right.
Hi there, I'm Joyrene of Getting Things Done.
You are awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And I wanted to say thank you so much for providing this awesome information. And the quick question that I had was, when building your community, what information did you think or wish someone would have told you that you didn't have to find out for yourself?
Oh, man.
Wow, that's a good question.
That's an excellent question. You go first.
I know it's a loaded question, but
it's
just
a good
one
though. I gotta
golden
think about it
nugget.
for a second.
I would say working on 4 hours of sleep is a reality.
Definitely. Yeah. Don't partner up with a crazy Canadian. If that would have been helpful. No, I think early on, if somebody had told me, God, I don't know, if somebody had told me that my life would be here after starting a simple Facebook group 3 years ago,
I would never have believed that.
no, I've never believed it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna make me cry. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.